So my name is Dave Mason. I'm one of the owners of I Found Agent. I was a real estate agent for 14 years. I actually know the Jarsons from way back when.
Oh, cool.
I remember I used to be at Realty Executives. There was a month where I won a marketing award and they won a marketing award. We were in the company newspaper at the same time. So
Oh, nice.
so
Very nice.
I'll spare you the 30-year story. I was in real estate, ended up in technology, and uh, made my mark and success as a realtor using technology way back in the early 90s. So, I learned a lot about that. This particular dialogue is really about creating, we've got some new circumstances in our lives, and often with quick change, uh, it can be uncomfortable. It can be a lot of different things, and people deal with it differently. So, my goal for this conversation is that you leave it with more freedom, more space, more power than when you entered it. And it's a rigorous dialogue, which I mean, you could listen to this like the TV, or you could actually put yourself into it and really examine. Uh, I've got my camera in a different place. I'm not sure where to look. I think that's better. And really examine for yourself, because and if you do it that way, you'll get a lot more out of this. And um, I'll just say up front, my company, we have it's a website, it's a marketing platform, and a lead manager. And I'm not really going to go into it probably at all on this dialogue, but I will say that, if you wanted to have a private dialogue about what to do with your databases, how to manage, promote yourself, I would be happy to do that, separately. And you can I'll have a contact information at the end of the screen, but it really is a revolutionary program and very appropriate for what's happening in the market right now. So, and keeping our sphere of influence informed on what's going on in the real estate market. So uh, I call it the crack. The crack is like, people want to look at properties. I do. I just so I One of our clients, I was joking, they send me a market report every month, and I open it up, and I know what it is, and I just cannot help looking at what's going on in my neighborhood. So, but with that, I want to start with this. I'm gonna read it. So I invite you to consider that any upheaval or paradigm shift always results in uncertainty. The old rules, assumptions, beliefs, constructs no longer apply, and it is only in uncertainty possibility can that real possibility can arise and be brought forth. Now, uncertainty is or can be scary. That's why most human beings and companies and industries and society as a whole designs itself to avoid uncertainty. Sound familiar?
Hmm.
Okay. So we've had, as long as I've been in the real estate business, I started in 1988, just changes. We went from the real estate book to the MLS, and with each change, I noticed there was always resistance. Uh, we took a vote on the fax machine, probably, I think it was 1990, 91. The first round of the vote for the fax machine didn't pass. Why? Because we didn't need it. But even though we didn't think we need it, the world was changing anyway, and it wanted the fax machine. We ended up getting the fax machine, but uh, and then cell phones came. Resisted getting the cell phone, didn't need it. I had a pager. So things changed. The dot-com bubble. We went from no internet to internet. It is always changing, but this one's a little bit different because it does affect everyone. I'll share. My own experience dealing with the COVID thing has gone from, I'm feeling very scared, uncertain, uh, uncomfortable, and there's a couple directions that you can go. So it'd be easy to curl up into a ball, wait for this thing to get over with, or you can get busy, be a leader to yourself, to your family, to the people in your community. So I don't know if I have a better answer than that. I deal with this also, so just watching myself go through it and being compassionate with myself and others in a way I haven't been also. I will say I do teach. I'm a yoga teacher as well, so bringing some of those principles into the dialogue, I think, really, helping people, heal, free themselves up. It's really what that's really what I'm interested. I mean, I do technology, but at the heart of things, my passion is, just bringing more freedom and peace, in people's lives. So, um, the I don't know if anyone's noticed, the world's very different than it was just a couple of months ago. I never saw anyone wear a face mask. Now they're all over the place. So, but with any type of breakdown, there's always an opportunity to create something, imagine, and create. As a company, we've had to adapt quickly. Video became, not that it was ever not a thing. I think we're going to see sellers demanding video more, in the market is going to be demanding video. So we've adapted changes into how our websites function handling video. And we want to create a powerful place to stand on. Um, Here's this person walking on this thin mountaintop. For a while, I felt like I was rolling down the hill until I actually got clear on, what is it that I want to provide. And like I said, really giving away peace for people. Um, there is a myth, my life will be better when blank happens. There's always something in life to deal with, right? And if you're feeling unsettled with the current situation, I'm going to suggest a concept which I've been practicing for uh, uh, a long time. It's called radical acceptance. And it's probably been more, I don't know that I ever got the concept of it until now. Until now, like, really, what does that mean? And that, just really accepting this, just really accepting something from the depths of your whole within your heart and mind, and you stop fighting reality, or stop resisting what's so. I can't fix or change what's so, and if I resist it, then it's going to have me in pain, right?
Well, I think too, if I may jump in,
Oh, please. Yeah, this is an open conversation. Yeah.
one of the kind of the first thing that occurred to me, that to me is very obvious, but it may not be to a lot of people, is that we we want to control, right? We want to
Yep.
control this, that society has put that pressure on us to make things happen and make sure it's under our control. And why didn't you do this? And why didn't you do that? And but in my mind, we never had control. We just, we like to believe we have some control over certain situations, but I don't believe that. I mean, we try to make make a difference, better the situation, whatever it may be, but we never had control. And now it's really slapping us in the face, saying, you never had control to begin with, so chill, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Yeah. And thanks for sharing that, because I've been thinking about that. Like, everybody had their routines. Like, I used to get up in the morning, I'd go on my walk, I'd go to my yoga studio. I have a yoga practice daily, sometimes twice a day. I don't
Fantastic.
go anymore. So, uh, we're creatures of habit, or human beings, I should say, and we like structure. And then, I mean, it literally got taken away, that fast. can't
Mm.
can't control it. So the the illusion has been, we've had some control, and the reality is exactly what you're saying. There never has been.
Right.
So
This is just putting it under a magnifying glass and proving that we never had it.
exactly. Well, yeah, thanks for sharing that. Anybody else have anything they'd like to add? So life has always been uncertain. If you can embrace at the very core of human being that life is uncertain, then you can be empowered to be with any uncertainty in your life and life itself.
Hmm.
I'm gonna read it again.
Okay.
If you can embrace at the very core of human being that life is uncertain, and you can be empowered to be with any uncertainty in your life and life itself. And
Powerful.
uh like I'm human. I've gone back into resisting COVID, hating COVID, and it just puts me not in a great place. So even just preparing for this conversation really opens things up.
Hmm.
So
Well, and it's the whole. I think for me, the whole concept of wanting to be informed, which is part of my usual routine,
mhm,
and having that information kind of bring get you to a point of, like you said, want to roll up in a ball. Do it, you find yourself, I find myself wanting to make choices. Okay, do I want to know, or do I don't want to know? And I know I want to know, because I know a lot of people that they just stop watching the news, and I can't do that. I want to be informed, and I want to also maintain a level of energy, positive energy, and enthusiasm in what I'm doing, and hopefully inspire others to do the same.
Well, and I think as we're trying to stay informed, at least for myself, it's easier to get sucked into other people's fears. And
yes.
Mm.
sometimes I have to step back and then recalibrate, um, that their fears aren't necessarily my fears. And but it's easier, I think, to get sucked into it when you are trying to stay informed, because I think there's more fear than not.
Certainly.
So I want to put a lens on that conversation. I'm actually going to put a blank in here because I could actually put a new slide in here just based on what you guys just shared. And it's a lens to look through. Not that there is a truth to anything that, I'll just say Facebook, for example. So the lens you want to look through, or could look through, I'm just going to propose it like a jacket you could put on, and if it fits it, great. If it doesn't, take the jacket off. But most of what I see in my own experience, there's a lot of ungrounded assessments and bias. And I'm always looking for what are the facts, because there's a lot of opinions, feelings, emotions,
Right.
and that's what Jamie, I think you're alluding to, getting sucked into that, and that can be draining. And I know when I'm on the when I'm on the phone having conversations, it's just there. People want to talk about it, and that can get sucked down a really dark hole real fast. So
Mm.
you've I've had those calls where been on a half an hour, 45 minutes. It's like, all right, I need to lie down now. This is exhausting.
Well, and
So
that's what I was doing when this thing first started.
yep.
I was just calling, family, friends, and past clients, and the gamut was, the entire range of emotions, from fear to anger to, you know, passiveness. but it is, I mean, it is a 30 or 45-minute call for every single one of them. And it's been interesting as I've called several of them back. It almost is like going through the grieving process. You know,
Mhm.
people's emotions are changing, um, you know, from one to the other. And I mean, so how you interact with them is having to change as well, based on where they are at just that moment.
Mhm.
So my good point. So I like, I don't know if this is a metaphor, but my mom had a spinal injury about 15 years ago, and she didn't die. She's doing very well now. You know, she's had some challenges, but you know, at the time she was paralyzed from the neck down, and the the I forget the name. The psychologist, nurse, you know, she saw me in the hallway. I was upset, and you know, she talked to me. You know, you know, I forget how the whole dialogue went, but basically she said, "Well, what you're experiencing is the death of your mother, like that mom that you knew, because her
Mm,
body didn't look this.
right.
She just looked different." She said, "That one is gone, and you're experiencing the grief and the loss of that, and then now you know there's this new
Hmm.
thing, not thing, but there's this new paradigm over here, which we have called, you know, we're now living in this COVID-19, whatever you want to call it. And there is a loss of, you know, people are
Right.
experiencing a loss of something. So
Mhm.
there's, you know, people are upset, they're sad, they're whatever. So being aware of that, we can actually, uh, you know, help guide people through that experience.
Well, and with that being said, we're going through that same grieving process.
I am.
You know.
I miss
Uh,
my yoga community. You know, I
right.
practice on home. Everything's on Zoom now.
Right.
Not not the worst thing, but it's not the same as if we were sitting in the room together having this dialogue.
Right.
Right. Well, we
But
get so much energy from one another, and we provide it to each other, and and at the same time, I like you began to say earlier, there are so many creative things that come from challenges that face us.
um, I I have a friend of mine. She had a massage business.
Mm,
She was doing really well. She had other people, and she went from doing zero.
Yeah.
So she reinvented herself as well. She was an NLP practitioner, and she does these online courses, and she's making more. She's like, I'm making more money now than I ever did. I'm like, okay, well, there you go.
wow.
I know some
Yeah,
other people.
reinvention. That's it.
You got to reinvent. Um, so I think that so shifting from a sales to a service mindset is also what uh, you know in this new like I say, you know, people are going through whatever they're going to, you know, going with the sales mindset. If you've got somebody who's, you know, really dealing with it, probably not going to work out that well. So really having that service, I kind of like to think of it as consultative mindset. You know, you know you're providing consultation, which is different than sales. You know,
Right.
you're really on that, you know, your client's best interests and advising them. And people know. I
Mm.
come from the old. I started when I started in real estate. It was Tom Hopkins. I still have the tapes with nothing to play them on. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I was thinking of you. Would you be offended if I stopped by at 4, or would 4:15 be more, you know, it's like, right? Probably not going to work anymore, and not appropriate either. So,
Right, right.
uh,
Exactly.
you know,
Not
what
to not to mention that, I mean, unfortunately, for worse, it's also gotten somewhat politicized to the point where there are the people that, feel strongly about protecting themselves and others,
Yep.
right? And then the people that don't.
Yep.
And so, yeah, then you want to be cautious, just as we all always are, about not judging and accepting whatever's going on over there, kind of, along the lines of fair housing kinds of thought processes. Would you say?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, yeah, everyone's got their comfort level with the virus. Now, for you as an individual, can you be powerful in your stand to not step over whatever your stand is with, with somebody else? Like,
Correct.
and that's really where you want to, look for yourself about, how you're going to be, with where you're at about whatever that dialogue is,
Hmm.
for or against whatever. So, um, my whole thing's always been keeping things simple, because if it's simple, I'm going to do it. But simple things that can produce powerful results. I've been doing this for a long time. I've talked to thousands and thousands of agents. Getting your contacts into a database. For me, I went from nowhere. I was to top 10% at 25 years old, just by
Wow.
getting my database together. So I really get the value of doing that, and it's still, I see a struggle for people to do that. We have a very simple system to do that. Really, just automating the follow up. Top producers. One of the things human beings we resist is repetition. Top producers in real estate do the same thing over, or they have someone else do it over and over and over. That's it. That's all they're just doing, the same thing over and over again. If you quit on a diet, well, we know what's going to happen. Following up, staying top of mind, just really training people to think of you. I used to mail out postcards in 1991. I got hauled into the broker's office. What are you doing? This is unprofessional. Same people that voted the fax machine down. What was I doing? I was innovating. I sent post. I had to. Nobody could produce. I had to find a printer that could even produce the card stock I needed.
Right. Wow.
Um, and phone calls. I know everyone's texting, and I'm not really. Texting's great, but you can't create relatedness in a text.
Right.
You can deliver information, but I cannot get related. I couldn't get related to you guys by just chatting in the chat box window. It would be a total failure. So and I know as a real estate agent, whenever I needed leads, I would just start calling people. And as you guys know, that sometimes we think we know where our leads are coming from. We have no idea. Oh my God, I just got a referral from that guy. I can't believe it. And it happened to me all the time.
Yeah. You don't know.
NAR statistics, 10% of your database is going to move every year. 15% of your database can send you referrals. I was a Joe Stump guy. Who do you know that's most likely to buy or sell in the next 30 to 60 days? Now,
Right.
there's certain people, when I call them, they still repeat that back to me. I haven't sold a house since 2001. That is in their brain. Why? Because I trained them. That's what I want. So if you tell people what you want a referral, they don't know. We think people know how real estate agents work. They do not. So you have to train your people what to do. You need to train them to go to your website for their information, not Zillow. You need to train them to give you referrals. You need to train them, and be like Pavlov. Give them the real estate market reports. And like I said, I'm not even going to show you any of our technology, because really the way I like to work with people is find out about your business and design something because everyone's going to be different. But we have a campaign builder that works very similar to how you would make a report in MLS, except you make it on your website. When I make a campaign, whoop, when I make a campaign, it's going to set up a search for my client. I can set an automated recurring report with search updates. It makes a blog post and it sends out to social media, just like that, super easy. And all those blog posts are searchable in Google. So we could keep using MLS or do something that leverages our time that benefits not only the client, but myself as well. And we've done some changes with video on all your property, on every single listing that shows up in your IDX, which is the thing that shows the properties on the website. You could put a biopic video on every single listing, even the ones that aren't yours, or you could even select a branded video to go on your listing, which MLS won't let you do. And it's very easy. So a lot of people say, "Oh, you guys are like the iPhone for real estate marketing," and it's true. It is. It's a very easy program to do, and you have to do it. It's a new habit. It's very simple. We do trainings twice a week, and the purpose of automating yourself. The first 2 years of my real estate business, I didn't have a day timer. My brain was pretty sharp back then. I could think. I could almost remember everything, but I would have these moments where I'd be driving and I would think to myself, "Oh, do I have an appointment right now?" And that didn't feel very good. So changed that. My mom actually got me the Covey day timers. I don't know if you remember those. The inserts would come every quarter in a big box, but that was a game changer.
I'm separating myself from that.
But yeah,
Finally, my phone replaced it.
I have, if you sign up today, you get 2 free months. But if you want to contact me and at a later time, I would love to go through how the software works, with the website, the IDX and the lead manager, they all connect and talk to each other. Super simple program. And it just keeps your database. Every single person gets a custom report to what they're interested in, which is their neighborhood subdivision area. Once you set it up, you never have to touch it again. It updates itself. It's a beautiful thing. It does other things too, but that's kind of what I wanted to cover for today. Everyone's been sitting on Zoom calls. I wanted to keep this one short, but really get to the point. If there's any questions that you have or about anything that we discussed today, I'd be happy to stay and continue the dialogue. I think it's a very powerful dialogue for people to be having right now. I did this 3 weeks ago. I had 20 something people on. I think people are getting zoomed out. So we have 3 here today, but I think it's one that's worth having. If you want the recording, you can email me, if you want to listen to it again, and I'll send it to you. So wait, am I recording? I am recording this. Okay, good. Okay. The little red light's flashing. I didn't see it. So.
Hey, Dave.
Yes.
Is your phone number on? And I just don't remember. Is your phone number on the Zoom e-invite that we received?
I can't remember. I'm going to put it in the. I just put it in the chat.
Oh, okay.
So. But that's all I've got. If you're interested, I teach yoga on Tuesday night and Friday night at 7. If you'd like, I can add you to my list.
On Zoom?
Yeah, on Zoom.
No kidding. Tuesday night and Friday night?
Yeah, Kundalini Yoga Tuesday and Friday night. This Friday is my birthday, so we're skipping it. But yeah, okay. Normally Tuesday and Friday night.
What time?
7 p.m.
7, okay.
So I've got people from all over. We've got a group of Kundalini yoga teacher trainees that come to my class because I got to get a certain amount of classes in and some from here. So I got people from all over coming.
That's very cool. Thanks for mentioning that.
But that's
Is that difficult to do over Zoom?
no,
No?
not at all. No. Well, there's no there's no touching in Kundalini yoga anyway. So it's just, I go through what the poses are. Um,
Yeah.
not-
Okay.
it's a lot of breathing, but I think it's important to have a practice where I think we're all under more stress than normal. So, being able just to, dump that off
Right.
daily is a smart thing to just, I feel a lot. If I don't do it, I can't sleep. So it's just, for me, it's like taking a pill at night. I do it every night. Today I did it in the morning. I'll do it at night. It's just what I do.
Well,
So
that's right.
some people lift weights, exercise, jog, something I think is worth doing.
Right. Yep, I agree.
So that's all I got, guys.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes, thank you very much. It was a good conversation to have with like-minded people.
Absolutely. Yes.
Very good. Thank you. I'll be doing it again, probably in a couple weeks.
Okay.
But just email me and I'll have the recording available in about an hour. It uploads to the cloud.
Awesome.
Okay,
Thanks
sounds
very
great.
much, Dave.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
All right,
too.
tell Scott hi.
Okay, I will.
right.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.